Ho, 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 you little gremlins. You know, as my Christmas gift to you for being gone for a while, you get a video talking about another deplorable game. I know it's kind of felt like a while since we had one of these style of videos, but you know, it's the season of giving. Let's go ahead and run it back with a childhood classic of mine. In my Black Ops 6 video, I mentioned that I got an Xbox 360, and out of all the games I could play and cover, I decided to pick up one that I played as a kid and I actually thought was good. I desperately wish I could go back to my younger self and slap some damn sense into him, because this game, this goddamn game, it doesn't surprise me why we never got a sequel to this. Today, we're cracking open the case to check out The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, revisiting a game that I somewhat enjoyed as a kid and seeing why this is considered to be among the worst of the worst as an adult. So without further ado, let's dive right in. I don't even really know where to start, so let's just start with the story. And the story is as follows. Amidst a zombie outbreak, Daryl Dixon and his half-uncle Jess leave their mountain shelter for supplies in Sedalia, teaming up with locals Jimmy and Warren before heading to Pemberton, where Jess succumbs to a zombie bite. Searching for his brother Merle in Fontana, Daryl helps survivors but is betrayed and loses his gear to a gang. Merle joins Daryl for revenge at a bar but disappears after the gang is killed. Daryl uncovers the false promise of a cure, aids survivors during a failed evacuation, and reaches Atlanta's overrun fire sign stadium. Merle returns to help defend a doomed helicopter, forcing Daryl to abandon it as its infected pilot has sealed the survivor's fate. And for those curious about where this falls in line with the show, this is actually a prequel. Now, if you're like me, you love the show, and you might have even looked forward to the game itself. The first 3 seasons pretty much carried me through my time in high school, so when I saw that this game took place before the iconic Don't Dead Open Inside scene, I couldn't help myself. I kind of wish I would have opened that door and let those motherfuckers tear me apart. I will give the game some slight credit, okay? Not much, but some. The fact they got Norman Reedus and Michael Rooker to do the voice lines for their character is actually really sick. The characters actually look like them too, which is a nice thing to see. I know it's one of those things that should be expected, but you don't know how many companies have resorted to finding impersonators instead of actual actors just so they can save some money. Cool. That's about all this game gets out of me, so let's just go ahead and move on. Let me explain the main thing you do in this game, okay? You melee, find loot, head to the exit, go to the next town, get caught up in doing 1, 2, or even 3 pointless stops along the way, then play the next level, repeat. You would think that if the formula were so easy, they'd be able to make it seem like there was always something to do or something to look forward to, and shockingly enough, there is. I always looked forward to holding that big Xbox button in the center of that controller and turning my fucking console off. The melee combat is extremely repetitive, and it may come as no surprise since that's the main focal point of the game, but you don't realize how much of a drag it is until you've played it yourself. When you hit a zombie in the face, they just stand still and take it. You know, these zombies go from these monsters that you have to carefully attack and sneak past. They go off smell and sound, and so stealth is at an all-time high. They go from that to just being absolute hogwash enemies that'll sit there and just take the punishment. And yeah, you need to be careful attacking these brainless bastards, because if you get swarmed and locked into this mini game of control the camera and press right trigger, you're gonna be stuck in that for every single zombie. Also, you're gonna see me bash the zombies, go up behind them, and stab them in the back of the head a lot, okay? That is the best course of action to take. Normally a zombie takes 4 hits with a knife to kill, but it's just somewhat easier to bash them, walk around, and execute them. You do get a variety of weapons from the time you start all the way up until the end, but there was one question I asked myself all the way back in 2013 when the game came out. Where's the damn crossbow? There it is, on the screen. Daryl Dixon has it in the main menu. The main weapon Daryl uses in the show, you don't start with it, so where could it be? Well, would you believe me if I told you that the crossbow can be found in the Barksdale level off of one of the bikers? AKA when you're more than halfway done with the game? My biggest gripe is that you have no effective way to take down zombies stealthily for about 70% of the entire game that at least puts you out of harm's way at least. And then now that you're about to beat the entire game and the crossbow kind of becomes null and void, that's when they want to give it to you? You want to know how it is though? It's a little crappy, borderline shitty. You get this anticipation to get it the entire game, and then when you get it, you're like, oh, okay. Well, I could have gone the rest of the game without getting this, but fine, whatever. Anyways, let me talk to y'all about the campaign because it's one of those that stays pretty mild consistently throughout. The whole antithesis of this game heavily relies on stealth and seeking resources, and in the first hour or so, you can get immersed. But by the, I would say, third mission, I was just kind of zooming through and not really paying attention to shit. Before each mission, you choose sort of a loadout. If you have survivors, you can either keep them in the car or choose to send them out for resources. Each survivor has their own list of perks and what they're good at, but my god, are these bastards fragile. You also have to keep their health up with MREs, and what is one of the hottest commodities in the game besides fuel? MREs. So you're either gonna go hungry and die, or they're gonna die with all your good shit. After each mission, you're shown a summary and then prompted to either move straight to the next town or choose which town you go to next. And don't worry, none of it actually matters. I'll actually explain why later. Now, what happens in between going to each town is different because you're either going to head straight there with no issues or end up stopping because your car is overheating, your tire blew out, or you ran out of gas. I shit you not when I say that these are the most tedious, most useless ass missions in the entire game. I understand that there's a level of realism, as real as you can get in a situation like this, and you would have to find gas and resources in a zombie apocalypse, but it doesn't have to happen as often as it does in this game. So say for example, you run out of gas. Well, what's a fella to do? Well, now you gotta go find some, right? You're gonna find just enough, maybe a little bit more, to get you to the next stop. Like, look at this one. I needed 3 fuel to get to the next place. Motherfucker, I could run on fumes going into the next town. I didn't need to stop and get like a 64th of a tank. But if it's not the asinine stops you make, the way you go to the next town only affects the way your gas is utilized. Could you get more supplies doing the back roads? Yeah, but that's if the game wants to stop you. The best way to tell if you're progressing in the story or not is when you see the driving screen. If you don't hear dialogue, your ass is stopping. Regardless if you want to or not, you're stopping. If you hear Daryl and whoever else he's talking to, you're progressing through the story. You don't have to get hung up. Congratulations. You know what else is tedious? Actually, now that I talk about it, just playing the whole damn game in general. There was a point in time that I booted this up and had a little bit of nostalgia about what I'm experiencing again 11 years later, right? I was hoping that I was going to be wrong about my assumptions, but alas, I was given a crash course straight down to earth because of just how inconsistent, how broken, just how overall damn meaningless it all seemed to be. Even when I was at the stadium in the gunner seat of a Humvee, mowing down zombies with a turret, I'm in no real danger. Merle is over there screaming at me, "You better protect me, little brother, you better protect." But it would make no shit difference if I just sat there and let the zombies pile up in front of the car. Maybe it'll tank my performance, but that's really about it. And while we're on the topic of that, I know that the Xbox 360 is ancient technology nowadays, and even during its prime, it struggled considerably. What I didn't expect is that this game felt like there was a constant input delay. Even when I was directly plugged into the 360, it felt like the controls were fighting against me. It made doing literally everything feel so awkward. The best way I can describe the movement in the overall controller in Survival Instinct is dated. Not retro, not even old, but fucking dated. Now, at the end of it all, this game probably suffered behind closed doors because AMC gave the studio a pile of cash, the rights to the characters and show, then proceeded to say, "You know what, good luck, see y'all in 2 years." And I'm sure there are some devs at Terminal Reality to this day that worked on the game that wish they could have gone back and had a few more months or even an extra year to turn things around. Plus, with this game being published under Activision, I know the crunch time was absolutely brutal. Unfortunately, it didn't escape the 32 Metacritic score and overwhelmingly bad reviews the game got across all platforms. The damn game was so bad that Australia never saw this game on the Wii U because the demand was so low for it, and I can't say I blame them. This was such an embarrassment for its time that even Robert Kirkman, the show's creator, distanced himself from the game due to how bad the game was being perceived. But you know what he went on to endorse instead? Telltale's The Walking Dead. To this day, I personally consider the best iteration of the game outside of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Survival Instinct was supposed to come with co-op, but that got scrapped. It would have actually made the game a little bit more enjoyable personally, but unfortunately, it's never going to happen. There was also supposed to be multiple endings, and again, it was cut last second. But the biggest redeeming quality of it all is that you have relics you can use on your next playthrough. And look at that, you can collect squirrels. Wowie, so cool. Yeah, no, this game can fuck off. So now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what y'all think about The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Let me know if y'all have played it, y'all like it, all that good stuff in the comments below. And while you're down there, be sure to sneak up on that like button and execute that sub button. Also, YouTube can notify you the next time I upload. And I want to give a huge shout out to all the members of the channel that are still holding it down, still dealing with my inconsistent ass. And guys, I genuinely do appreciate y'all's support. Thank you so much. This is Sir Blackout signing off, saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and just in case I don't make it back in time, a Happy New Year from my family to yours. I'll see y'all in the next one. Please make it back safely. Later.